Madge coming up next. If you want to go ahead and start raising your hands for Dawn. All right, guys. Curtis, kick us off.
Hi, Dawn. This is Curtis Calhoun with MMA News. My first question for you, obviously, you're facing the defending champ, House Manfio. How much does it mean to you to be in the co-main event for the first PFL card of 2022?
It's a huge honor. I really wanted to face House first. I wanted to get the champion out the way first, and test myself against the guys who've really been through it and already accomplished what I'm trying to accomplish. To be the only South African on the card, and represent my country is a huge deal to me.
And then a quick follow-up, if I may. Before your last win at the PFL championships over Nathan Williams, you had something like, I think, 4 different fights canceled in 2 years. What did you focus on in your development during that time? And what would you say is the biggest difference in your game since then?
Yeah, man, it was a frustrating time. I think 4 fights canceled on me, and that was like directly after COVID lockdown, and it was a crazy time. I had quite a few different opponents, so I was training obviously for those specific guys and developing the skills to beat those guys. I think it was a blessing in disguise because I got a lot out of those camps, even though I didn't get to perform. But I leveled up a lot in those 2 years that I didn't get to compete.
Thanks, Don.
Thank you.
Dave Van Auken.
Hey, Don, this is Dave here with Fight Bananas. A couple of days ago, I saw in the betting odds you were a little slight underdog, and, he's the defending champion. But over the past 24 hours, there's money on your side, my man. I just looked at it 10 minutes ago. You're actually the betting favorite going into this co-main event. What do you take going into that?
I always come in with an underdog mentality anyway. I wanted to face the champion first because, if he's the guy that's done it already, he's already climbed the mountain, and I want to take his spot on the top of that mountain. So, odds and stuff, that's all, and statistics, that's all on paper. Fights are on paper. So I don't really pay too much attention to that, and I'm just going to get in there and do my thing, and I believe I will win, and I will be the champion this year.
Awesome. Appreciate your time. Best skill Wednesday night,
Thank you so much.
Mark.
Hey, Don, this is Mark from the Touch More podcast. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Last season you came in not in the tournament bracket and you defeated Nate Williams with that rear naked choke submission. Being in the tournament bracket this year and also going up against the champion of last season in your first fight, how big of an opportunity do you feel this is for you, and how motivated does that give you a little bit of an extra motivation that your first fight in the tournament is against the champion from last year?
Yes, absolutely. I actually wanted to fight Hausch first. I specifically said, I was like, if I can get him first, I would really like to get that fight first. Like I've said before, he's climbed the mountain already. And if I can get him out the way first, I already know that I have an advantage over the rest of the roster.
Is there anybody else in the tournament bracket that you are like looking forward to fight? Is there somebody in the bracket where you're like, man, I'd really like to fight this guy, whatever time it may come?
There's a guy on the roster that we've we've had back and forth on Twitter and stuff from like previous promotional stuff. Stevie Ray, he's talked a bit of mad shit on Twitter about me before. So, if we manage to get squared up, I think it'll be good to settle everything in the cage.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alistar.
Sorry, Don, it's Big Al. What's happening, buddy?
Hey, how you, bro?
Okay, you.
Good, man.
I mean, obviously, you've gone through the Raoush stuff. It was a fight that you really wanted. You've mentioned because you feel that's going to give you an advantage. Was it something stylistically that you saw in him that you saw you could beat him?
Yeah, to be honest, I do feel that he's the perfect style of fighter for my style of fighting. You know, he likes to come forward. He's quite brawler-esque, and I believe that I'm more technically proficient than he is, and I think that's going to be on display on Wednesday night.
I just want to follow up about obviously the fight changing and so on. How does it feel now to be settled down in the PFL, knowing what's in front of you, schedule-wise, financial-wise? How does that feel now to be kind of settled down into your future?
Man, to be honest, it feels like I'm an athlete right now. It feels like I'm a professional athlete. You know, I feel like I've got like my match days in front of me. I've got my season in front of me. I've got my, like you say, your financials and your pays lined up in front of you. You know, before it was kind of like you're just kind of hoping and praying to get a job. You know, you're this professional, but you don't have a job. So it felt like you were just training and putting these hours in and wasting all this time and doing all this hard work and not guaranteed anything. You know, of course, in fighting, nothing's guaranteed, but it's nice to know that I'm guaranteed today and I'm guaranteed in the next one. And that's 2 fights more than I've had in a couple of years, in one calendar year. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Looking at the rest of the roster, obviously there's some big names there, and I would imagine, as it tends to be from South Africa, you might be overlooked from time to time. What would you say before your performance does the talking? What would you say the rest of the roster can expect from Don Madge?
Well, you know, there was a time before anyone from Ireland was known, and Conor McGregor came and he became the biggest thing ever. There was a time before anyone from Cameroon came around, and then Francis Ngannou came and things changed. You know, you can never count anyone out. And oftentimes being the underdog and being overlooked is what drives me more and makes me more motivated to win. So I'm ready for that, and I'm ready to put my country on the map.
Thank you, Don. Last one from me. What's your message to the people of South Africa?
Hey guys, I know you've been waiting to tune in and be able to watch on TV on ESPN. Now you've got your opportunity with ESPN Africa and PFL being broadcasting in South Africa. So make sure you guys tune in, and I really appreciate all the support I'm getting from you guys. And I'm going to bring this win home back for all the people of South Africa.
Best of skills. Thank you, Don. See you there,
Thank you,
dude.
brother. Thank you.
Harry.
Hey, Don, Harry Mack from the Bookie's Basement. Kind of piggybacking off that last question a little bit. How do you feel in general about just kind of the rising crop of talent in African MMA right now?
You know, I think like as we've started to see in the trend worldwide, is that there's this untapped resource of African fighters that we just haven't been given an opportunity. That's just the reality of the matter. We've got guys, I got guys that I train with that are on this global level, and they just don't get the opportunities. And I think like me doing this and other South Africans fighting in bigger promotions, you know, we're trying to like pave the way for the rest of the guys so that we can say, you know, there's a whole continent out there that you guys have just ignored. Everyone's worried about North America, Europe, and Asia. You got an entire continent of Africa where like the bloodline and the genetics just alone should be scary for the rest of the world.
Got it. Thank you very much. Best of luck this year.
Thank you.
Jake.
What's going on, Don? This is
Hey.
Jake Foley, worldwide superstar. Congratulations on your first child. Although you have fought once since the addition to your family, in what ways has your baby changed your MMA life, and what new motivations has he brought?
You know, like it's one of those crazy things. You know, I never really expected to be in a position like this ever. Like when I started fighting, I never really thought about like what happens one day when you're a father. all I can say is that it's the most motivation I've ever had in my life. Like it's literally, it's a reason to do everything that I do. When I'm going to those training sessions and I'm tired and I know I'm about to get like destroyed by a conditioning session, I'm thinking like, this is for my child, and when you like now, like when you're cutting weights and you're suffering and you got to get through those things, all I can think about is, my son's watching me, and I got to be a good example for him.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Randall. Okay, Randall, we'll come back. Max.
How you doing? This is Max Going from the Going Live Network. Thanks so much for taking the time. I just have a quick question for you. Obviously, you fought last year in a single event for the PFL. Now you get your first opportunity of the regular season. How do you think you stack up with the lightweight division? A lot of people think this is the PFL's best division.
I mean, it definitely looks like the best roster, considering like you've got quite a few big names on the roster. I don't ever play not to win. So I won't ever enter anything that I don't think I'm going to win. And the fact that I'm here right now talking to you tells you that I'm here to win, and I believe I'm going to win.
Well, it's an honor to talk to you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time.
All right, Randall, let's try again.
Sorry about that, Don. Mike was muted. Randall Gim, Full Sail University student, wanted to ask you about Raush's comments earlier. He said he wanted to finish the fight in the first round. Wanted to hear your reaction to that, and how do you see this fight playing out?
This is MMA, and everyone sort of boosts their bravado up a little bit, and everyone says they're going to finish and they're going to do everything. But if you look at the guy's record, he hasn't finished a fight in like 5 years. So I don't really think that's going to happen. And if you look at my record, I finish everyone. So, well, I guess we're going to see on Wednesday nights and what happened, who's really coming out to finish and who's coming out to squeak a decision.
Thanks, Don.
Thank you.
Jonathan.
It's Jonathan Ravlicon, 5 Reasons Sports. To kind of follow up on that point, you're coming in on the season on a 7-fight win streak. Like you said, not having lost a fight since 2015. What do you feel like you've been doing right to continue to grow as a fighter?
I think a lot of the times, like when we start becoming like successful, like in our careers, we get surrounded by people that like tell you and repeat the things that you want to hear. Like you see like outstanding wrestlers come into an organization, get one knockout, and then all of a sudden everyone's telling them they're a great boxer. I like to have honesty around me. I like to have the people around me be honest with me, and I'm super self-critical too. I always look at everything that I could improve on, and I don't try and shy away from those things, So every single time I'm in the gym, I'm looking at a way to put myself at a disadvantage and make myself better so that I can improve on something rather than just do the same thing that I know I like and then that I know I'm good at.
Thank you, man, and good luck this season.
Thank you.
All right, guys, anyone else have any more questions for Don while we have him?
I have one more for Don. Randall Gim here again. So you have about 3 inches on him, and he might have a little bit of a reach on you, but you also have a longer leg reach as well. How do you feel those play into the fight, and do they, change your outlook on the fight much at all?
Obviously, we've taken that into account. I usually have quite a bit of range on most of the guys I fight, being 6 foot at lightweight. It's usually quite an advantage, and I do believe that because of our styles, the reach advantage in the hands isn't going to make too much of a difference. But I do believe that the leg reach is going to make a big difference, just based on us stylistically. So yeah, I mean, I do feel that it falls into my advantage, and he's going to have to deal with that range in the fight.
Anyone else? All right, Don, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
Thank you very much.